main topics. We'll start out with content. And you've probably heard the phrase content is king. I will say that several times probably tonight and every time you see me when you're asking about blogging and asking about web content. If you don't have good content, a good subject matter, then you're starting behind the 8 ball. But I'd like to sort of turn it over, and we'll go in reverse this time. We'll let Michelle start out and talk about what you blog about, how often you blog, how you came to those decisions, and then what makes good content for you.
Okay, well, I'll just talk about consuming Louisville. Somebody asked me earlier if I get pitched a lot of stuff to write, people wanting me to write about their events or their business and stuff, and I do. I get a ton of emails every day. I'm my own audience. If I don't think it's interesting, then I don't think my audience is going to find it interesting. So I'm kind of my harshest critic on that. If something is hit or miss, then I decline it because I want to I want to provide useful content for my readers. And so if something is, maybe it's useful, I err on the side of caution and don't write about it because I'm passionate about Louisville, passionate about the city, and so I want that to come across. And so if it's something that I'm not really that into, when I write about that, that's going to come across, I think, for my audience. So I write every single day on consuming Louisville. Anywhere from 3 to 5 posts a day is what I try to hit, which is a lot. Not every blog is like that. But, I mean, you're going to get the most bang for your buck in time if you write frequently. And if you're not passionate about what you're writing about, that's going to be really hard to do. So if you just kind of start a blog on a topic because you think it's a good topic to start a blog on, but you're not really into it, it's going to get old really quick and you're going to walk away from it. And you're not really going to, I think your audience can sense that when you're not really into it. So that's my general thoughts on content.
Very good. Mr. Rob?
So I would say you need to write about something that you're either passionate about and or something that you know a lot about. When I started businesspundit.com, I started it because I read like 20 business periodicals every day because it's just my thing. I really love it, and there were no aggregators at the time like Dig or Reddit or anything like that. So mostly I just posted a lot of links with brief commentary. Blogging changed a lot since then, and you can't really do that today, or nobody will come visit you. But I've tried to start other blogs, and sort of like Michelle said, if you're not passionate about it, it's very difficult to write for a long time. So I've started blogs about things that I'm angry about. I've started blogs about other things that I just thought might be easier to monetize. But it's very difficult to go and write every day if it's not something that you love, if it's not something that you know a lot about, and if it's not something where you can bring an interesting perspective that other people don't have. So you really need to offer something new. I mean, there's like 70-something, 80-something million blogs out on the web now. You need to offer a perspective that's not out there. And if you can't offer that, then you shouldn't go into it at least looking for money. Maybe personal satisfaction, but...
Rob is a big anti-echo chamber guy, as you can tell. And if your blog basically doesn't pass the litmus test of Me Too...
So let me just say, like, I don't read Robert Scoble, okay, which is like heresy, right? But I think the guy's never had an original idea in his life. So I don't follow Robert Scoble. I don't read Tech Meme because it's a bunch of top bloggers blogging about the same thing. I don't care. I want to know what's different. I want to see, I want to find the diamond in the rough. I want to see the people that are talking about interesting things that aren't being pushed to the mainstream. That's just me.
There you go. We like Rob with a beer or two in him. Chris?
All right. Well, I pretty much like to just echo what Rob said. It's all about, Jason said content is king, and I think in 2005 that was a big deal because nobody had content. But now everybody has content because there's a zillion blogs, and so the deal is really to have unique content. And I would gauge uniqueness of content by, like, let's say you're sharing something with your audience. Are they using it? I mean, if nobody's using it or responding to the stuff that you put out there, then really you're just shouting in the wind. So it's essential to put something out there that you are passionate about and that it is unique, and then to gauge the audience's response from that. Because your goal, obviously, is not just to go out and shout about it, it's to elicit some sort of response. So I would say that that's really you need to have purposeful content and always, have a goal in mind when you're putting stuff out there. And, your audience will tell you whether or not you're doing the right thing. It's one of those things that you feel as you get into it, for sure.
So, Chris, I'd like to ask Chris to address one thing, frequency of posts, because Chris is unique in that he has a very high-traffic, popular blog, but doesn't post every day, sometimes doesn't post every week. So talk a little bit about that and where that comes into play.
Well, first of all, I think there's certainly something to be said for somebody who has a unique voice who publishes a lot. I wish I was cranking out posts every day, and I'm not, but I'm not, and that's just the bottom line. I do one like every month and a half, maybe, but I'm focused on providing as much value and delivering as much, delivering as much value now and later. Like I produce evergreen content, stuff that's valid now and stuff that I know is going to be valid 6 months down the road when people find it through search engines. And I think by using that strategy, I get people into the site, and then they want to explore other things because they're saying, hey, okay, this is a genuine, this works for me, what else can I learn, what else can I do? So I'd say from that standpoint, posting frequency doesn't matter as much if everything is orchestrated really well and well put together and well thought out. There's a lot of ways to build a site.
Depending on what your topic is. If you have a topic like Chris has a lot of really great posts on WordPress blogs and the proper things to do, and that's stuff that, stays good. He's not, writing about events or commentary on news or whatever, so he can, like you said, it's evergreen. He can write something now and then, not write again for like a month and a half, which I think there was like 2 or 3 months between your last 2 posts or something. But it works for him because it will stay good. If you're writing, when Rob was writing Business Pundit, he had to write every day because there's business news coming out every day and there's something you have to churn out. So you have to think about that. When you're starting a new blog, when you've got your topic in mind, whatever it's going to be about, you need to think about if it's something that you have to post to all the time to stay relevant, to stay topical, or if it is something that you can hit every week, every other week, something like that.
And I would argue, too, that as you're starting out a new blog, it's probably important to increase your frequency of post as you're trying to gain traffic and attract links and things of that nature.